radio show where the conversations are. Hello. Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. I hope everybody is having a great week thus far because you are on the radio with Edwina Wilson and her co host.
The other. You know who I am.
Okay, whatever he just said. Whatever he just said. If it's not the other is
The backup
the
singer.
backup singer or whatever
Third,
he come
third
up
man
with.
on the right. I mean, you know.
I can't keep up with it myself, to be honest with you. So I don't know where he be getting these things from. So anyway, I like to share about my upcoming event, the Kelly's Choice 10th annual Caregivers Recognition Gala and 10-year celebration. We're so excited to be having this event, celebrating 10 years of just continuing to push forward in spite of
10 years. Wow.
10, Corey.
I mean, we first started. The Lord blessed us.
Humble beginnings.
Man, listen, folks. Y'all don't understand when the Lord bless you and He keeps blessing you in spite of. That's a wonderful thing. So to
It
see
is.
10 years is just a continuation of the Lord's blessing and His grace and mercies on us. So I definitely would love for y'all to join us.
Yes, yes. I say humble beginnings. But man, that first year it's crazy. Listen, I don't even know if you remember all of it, but
I remember every detail of it. See what she gonna tell y'all. I'm the reason I'm the backup singer, the other is because the Lord blessed me to be able to provide the things that she needs. He gives it to me, and I said this before. He shows me what she wants and gives me clarity and understanding. And then it's my job to go make it happen. So it seems seamless in a lot of ways for her, but it's the people in the background like myself who are actually trying to make it as easy as possible so that way you can focus on other things. Listen to the Lord's voice when He tells you to do something. And that's my role.
so in 2014, I came up with telling you what God said to me, what God spoke to me, what God showed me. And you're like, Whitney, how do you come up with that? You started with a special needs fashion show to a gospel concert, and now you talk about honoring the caregivers. And he was like, where'd that come from? I said, I heard it from God. He said, honor His people. Of course, me and my moments, I'm always like, okay, God, if this is you, I need you to let me know this is you. Show me a sign, a signal, or something to let me know this is you telling me to do this. And who are your people?
That's
Who
right.
are your people, God?
Who are
I
the
need
people?
help. So anyway, long story short, God spoke to me, showed me in so many ways that it was the caregivers, honor His caregivers. Because that's my story of 38 years, a caregiver. That was part of the dream in 2012. So here we are, 10 years later, still honoring caregivers, those that go unknown, unnoticed, those the unsung lovies, those that make sacrifices and put themselves on the back burner, and just so much. So we want to talk about that today. Self-care is mental care. We want to really focus a lot on the caregivers as well, when it comes to that part. So it was crazy. So this came to me, it was really revealed to me in the end of August. The end of August. And it was like a press on my spirit. And I was like, Corey, we got to do this like now, like this year.
This year.
This year. And you talk about what, 3 months? We had to do it this year because that press was urgent. And when God put a press on my spirit, I know He mean like right now. So Corey's like, Lord have mercy, you and your stuff. But anyway, so I went on and said, okay, we're going to do this, and we're excited about doing this. And we just went on, and we was looking at October, but then Corey found out that November was National Caregivers Month, so we pushed it to November, and here we are. Every year in November, we honor and recognize family caregivers because November is National Caregivers Month. So join us November the 2nd, 2024 at the Hilton Garden Inn. Come show support, come have some fun, come celebrate with us. And if you are a caregiver or know a caregiver, send your information to Kelly's Choice Kids at gmail.com. And we look forward to enjoying time with y'all. So we're going to go ahead on. Thank you for listening and just come and be a part of a phenomenal event. I promise you it will be. So what we got today, we got Rachel Hunter as our guest. And I'm so excited to have Rachel. Rachel was a part of our Caregivers Gala last year, and she just blew it up. Okay, I'm going to just tell it like it is. She did. People was coming to me talking about Rachel, wanting to reach out to Rachel. So I'm going to just say this, backed by popular demand. Welcome, Rachel. How are you?
I am well. I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me. Happy Thursday to you all. I'm good. And I'm excited to be here.
Okay. Thank you, Rachel. Listen, I'm so excited to have you. I'm trying to find out. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to find out why.
We're just trying to make sure you can broadcast
Yeah.
across the radio.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Give me just a moment here.
Folks out there, while my wife is dealing with the technicalities, I just want to say, when the Lord blesses you and he gives you opportunities and he watches over you, you just want to always make sure that you listen, take the time, understand what he's saying to you. And then once you get it, when it's a beautiful thing when you actually get what the Lord has for you, because the sky's the limit. And a lot of times we don't realize that. We just always think, the Lord is not watching out for me, or the Lord, the things in my life I did, the Lord didn't have anything to do with it. Yes, he did. He gave you free will. He's not going to interject every little thing that you do, but he's definitely going to open doors and close doors a lot of times to make sure that harm stays out of your way. Because remember, the enemy comes to do what? Kill, steal, destroy, terrorize, wreak havoc. And what people don't realize a lot of times is the enemy plays the long game. And you have to be prepared for the long game. Just like you prepare with the Lord, you got to be prepared for the enemy because, of course, he'll set people in your place. He'll set people around you that will just constantly cause chaos and drama in your life. And you don't want to have to deal with that all the time. But unfortunately, that's what we deal with. We deal with people who don't want to see us prosper, who always are trying to tell us we can't do it. Negative information, negative vibes. They're always trying to one-up us. And that's not a good thing to be around. That's not a good person to be around. So you have to start looking at your inner circle and wonder, are these people really good for me? Because if they're not good for you, then what benefit do they have for you? Do you understand that? I need y'all to get that. What benefit are they to you if every time you turn around, they're trying to one-up you? But here we go. We're finished up, you folks. So we're going back to the grind here. You ready for us?
Mr. Wilson, you go ahead now. You go ahead. That's my co-host. That's my other. That's my backup singer. That's my husband.
The man to the left. Don't worry.
You go ahead, Mr. Wilson, with your bad self. Okay, so we had technical difficulties. So we're back, and we're going to hear from Rachel because she is going to speak on self-care is mental health care, because we need that now. We need to hear all these things of how to move forward in our life and how to take care of us, especially while we're taking care of others. All right, Rachel, go ahead. Let's see what you got, girl.
Let's talk about this.
Okay.
So, just listening to that conversation there, that quick statement, so we just want to just kind of understand, a lot of times when people are doing things in mental health and mental care, since May is Mental Health Month, we definitely want to make sure that we get as many people on to share about their stories and how to self-care for themselves and what mental health looks like, so that way they can actually have the life that they're supposed to have. Her phone took the mic. That's all.
No, can you unmute yourself, Rachel?
Her phone took the mic.
Oh, her phone took the mic.
Yeah, that's all. Sorry, folks. We're just having some technical difficulties on our side. We definitely apologize for that. But we just, like I said, want to make sure that as we're moving through our days, and we're checking our mental statement, mental health. We want to make sure that we're checking to see if we're in the right mind state, the right mind capacity, and want to see what we're doing, how our life is going, and what can we look forward to in the Lord. And that's a big thing. You got to understand. You got to look forward in the Lord. You got to look forward in Him. You got to make sure that you're asking Him. You're not questioning every little thing that He gives you, because you have to have faith and believe that what He has for you in store for you is for you.
Okay,
But
let me
people
know.
don't really understand a lot of times. They just go through life thinking that it's only, it's their choice, it's their decision, and it is your choice and decision. But you have to remember, you got to follow in on what the Lord has for you, because if not, you'll always be running behind the 8 ball. You'll always be behind the 8 ball. You won't ever be able to catch up, and it's going to be tough doing that.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
All right, I'm going to put you through the board and you can go ahead and start.
So, there's just little things that you got to look out for. That's all. And we definitely appreciate you folks tuning in with us and listening to these shows, because we definitely have not a lot to say, but a little bit, just enough to catch on with you. That's all.
Okay.
All right. Are we good?
I hope so. Can y'all hear me?
There we go. All right.
We got you back.
Listen, we get this thing, y'all. Y'all
Yes.
And we got some good folks over on this radio that know what to do, and that's what it's all about. A good team, a good backing.
Yes. Listen, technology, sometimes it's your friend and sometimes it's not. So hopefully you all can hear me.
Okay. Let's do this, girl.
All right. Excellent. Well, I'm
excited to be here. Thank you all so much for inviting me. And this is a really important topic when we're talking about caring for our mental health.
Yes.
Oftentimes, self-care is overlooked. I'm excited to have this conversation because sometimes taking care of mental health is taboo, especially when you think about going into therapy, engaging in self-care. Sometimes those are things that are overlooked or not taken into consideration. So I'm excited to have this conversation and to share a little bit about how self-care actually is mental health care.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing to recognize and to understand is what self-care actually is.
Yes.
A lot of times when people hear self-care, they're thinking about trips to the massage parlor, getting their nails done, facials. And while those are not self-care, self-care is bigger than that. So I always like to have people to think about themselves and all of the parts that make up them. So you have your mental health, you have your emotional health, your spiritual health, but you also have your financial, physical, and sexual health. And so when I am talking about self-care, I'm talking about assessing your needs in all of those areas and taking care of you in those spaces. So self-care is looking at how am I doing emotionally, right? So if we're talking about emotional and mental health, right? It's looking at how am I doing in those areas? Am I stressed? Am I dealing with anxiety? Do I have a hard time setting boundaries? And so I'm taking on a lot more than what I should be. And because of that, I'm stretched thin. So if that's the case, then we would want to do some self-care in that area. So that might be going to a therapist. That might be taking time to just stop, to breathe, to decompress. That might also be setting boundaries, right? And so when I was talking to people yesterday about setting boundaries with families in particular. So I want you to think about that. What are some of the boundaries when it comes to family that people need to set.
That's something people don't think about
You don't think about that. And they need boundaries just as much as the people on the outside,
Yeah.
more so than the people on the outside.
because they think you're readily available, right?
Exactly. And so being able to say no, period, point blank, period.
Yes, that's it.
She said, "Purr, get it right now."
That is a form of self-care where we're setting boundaries. And there may be times where, especially for parents, and I know you mentioned caregivers as well, but being able to set boundaries as far as what you're taking on.
Mhm.
So if you have a lot of responsibilities already, not taking more on than you can actually handle.
Right.
Being able to say, no, I'm not able, I wish I could, but I'm not able to help, or I'm not able to take that on right now. That's a wonderful form of self-care.
Yes.
That is definitely going to directly impact your emotional or mental health. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Well, I was just about to say, speaking on that, I think in what you just said, as far as, saying no, and a lot of times people feel guilty, saying no to family members, or even making mistakes in life or some setbacks. They kind of feel like, it weighs on them, especially when it comes to family, because of course you always want to help your family out. But a lot of times when you have to tell them no, you think you let them down, and then you carry that. That burden, and that plays in the back of your mind a lot of times, especially if you're family conscious.
That's a really good point that you're bringing up. And one of the things that happens so often when it comes to self-care is people do feel guilty. And what I teach them is that feelings aren't always facts, and our feelings come from our thoughts, what we are telling ourselves. So when we challenge the idea that I have to do something, or if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it, those are the types of thoughts that will tend to lead to us feeling guilty. So it's really important to think about how we can challenge some of the thoughts that lead to the guilt, or that make us feel like I can't take a break when I need to. And even sometimes when it comes to taking care of family, or needing to set boundaries with family, I'll say it that way, it's kind of looking at it from a different perspective, right? I want to help, and maybe there is a way I can help, but I can do it in a way where it's not going to drain me, whether drain me emotionally, or even financially. Sometimes when it comes to family, we are putting on a lot of things, or taking on a lot of responsibilities that are going to negatively impact us financially. And maybe family, maybe you can support them by coming up with a way, an additional way that they can get whatever need they have taken care of.
Mhm.
So that's important, and that was really good that you brought it up about guilt.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I've learned not to be guilty when I say no, because especially for family, because like Corey said in the beginning, they're the first ones to think that, well, mommy is here or grandma is here, so I can always get her to do this, or I can always be in the foreplace of this or replace this. But I've literally learned to just say no and make me a priority, and what I have going on, stick with what I got to do, because they will try you. They will, so
Run me here, take me there, do this, do that. Yeah, it definitely weighs on you, because then you feel like if you can't do it, you definitely feel like, especially if you've been doing it, for a long time, you start feeling like, at one time you say no, it plagues you, because now you think, I let them down. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. Instead of realizing no means no. But you got to realize that it's your mental health.
Yeah.
It's your mental fortitude that you have to hold on to. And if you keep giving it up to other people, you'll always be drained.
One of the things that the stewardess always tells you when you get on the plane, one of the things they say is to put your oxygen mask on.
Yes.
And the reason they tell us that is because if we are drained,
Mhm.
and we're not doing it for anyone else. So
Mhm.
I tell my clients that all the time. You cannot pour on an empty vessel.
You sure
And
can.
so, yeah, so being able to set those boundaries so that you can be in a good emotional and mental health space is key. It is vital. And that's definitely part of self-care to take care of your mental health.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. One of the other things, too, that I always like to address is the impact if you do not engage in self-care. And whether it's, and I want to go back just a little bit to talk about self-care from the perspective of what you can do for you as a form of self-care. So boundaries, we talked about boundaries, setting them, saying no, that's a whole complete sentence. But self-care can also include taking time just to breathe. When life starts lifing,
Right. That part.
bills are billing, adulting, you're being pulled here and there. Sometimes you need to stop and just breathe. And
Yes.
what breathing does is it sends a message. It lets you know I'm okay, safe. You don't have to do nothing but right now. This is a way to kind of calm ourselves down. So sometimes small things just like stopping and breathing, inhaling, and slowly exhaling can work wonders to decompress us, to slow us down, to regulate us, even to get our heart rate down, with stress and anxiety as a way of impacting us physically. Doing things like breathing, praying is another wonderful way. Listen, I pray every day. I don't pray this with y'all. I'm not like Rachel. If I haven't had my quiet and devotion time, if I haven't meditated, and that does wonders to bring peace. It does wonders to help put things into perspective. Sometimes life has a way of becoming really big, and it becomes so big that it overshadows the truth, which is I can do all things, that I have a heavenly Father who is mighty and powerful, who can handle everything. And so prayer is another way to engage in self-care, and it's another wonderful way to take care of your mental and emotional health, but also your spiritual health is impacted
Right.
when you do that.
Right.
So those are just some of the ways to engage in self-care that will have positive benefits. So,
So-
go ahead.
So I was going to say, so let me ask you a question. So with taking care of your mental health in this situation and praying, what do you think about basically asking for help on this earthly plane? Do you see that as a strength, to be able to stop and say, hey, look, I need help before it gets too out of hand?
I feel it's a weakness for caregivers.
And that's unfortunately that's where society has made it as if it's a weakness, but it's really it shouldn't be
It
looked
shouldn't
on
be.
like that
Yeah.
because everybody needs help.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you're being trained, whether you know the job, there's always new things, there's always new adventures and things that need to take place. And sometimes you may have to ask for help because you just don't get it, or you may be a little tired.
Just to piggyback and twist it a little bit and what Corey said, can we make that focus on a caregiver of why it's very important for them to ask for help and don't feel like you're being a burden on someone because you feel like you may do it too much.
Those are, I'm so glad that y'all are bringing that up because I see that all of the time with caregivers. They are, we call them cognitive distortions, but they are having thoughts that are telling them, I'm going to be a burden if I ask for help, I'm weak if I ask for help, and a lot of times pride and ego can be in there. And so as the caregivers, and anyone in general, asking for help, you have to, one, give yourself permission to ask for help. And not only ask for it, but to receive it.
To receive it.
It is
To receive
given. right? 'Cause a
That's
lot of
big.
times people say, hey, I'm going to help you. You need help? Let me know. And we'll never take it.
I got it.
I got it. I got it. It's going to get you. Because as a caregiver, if you don't take care of yourself or receive help, you're going to get burned out. There's also going to be physical implications.
Right.
So your body may start to break down. So it is very important for caregivers to recognize that it's actually strong and courageous to ask for help when you need it. It's wise. It just tells us to be wise. And so when we are in need of help, asking for it and receiving it, because you can't pour, like we said, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're burned out from the responsibilities that you have, then it's, and I'll say it like this, I used to work in hospice, and a lot of the caregivers felt guilty for asking for help, especially the wives or the husbands who feel guilty because they made a promise. So I always tell care, don't stop making these promises. It's gonna always be me. I'm gonna be the one that only takes care of you, and I'll always no. I will do what I can with what I have, but I will also be open to receiving help. And receiving help doesn't mean that you're neglecting your loved ones. It doesn't mean that you are not upholding your vows that you made. No, this is me doing it the best way that I can with what I have. So yeah, I'm glad y'all said that.
Yeah. I know we came in with technical difficulties. Can you just give them, our listeners, a little bio about yourself, how they can, get in contact with you if they want to, or however you desire to do this?
Sure. So I'm Rachel Hunter. I'm the owner of RDA Counseling and Consulting. We're right here in Norfolk. We also service in Texas and Arkansas as well. And so for individuals who are looking for individual therapy, couple therapy, or group therapy, we are able to provide that. Our services are virtual, and feel free to reach out. We provide a free 15-minute phone consultation to make sure that we can provide you with the type of service that you need. You can give us a call at 757-828-7127. Or you can also email us at info@rdhcounseling.com. And we are passionate about helping people learn to take care of them. If you are not where you need to be, you cannot take care of anyone else. So being able to start looking at the relationship you have with yourself, giving yourself permission to take care of you, to look at you, assess what you need, and then to take care of you in those areas. So we're passionate about helping individuals and families to be able to do that.
Awesome.
That's good.
And she said a key word, folks. She said, give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to do something more, to get mental health if you need it, to feel love, to get it, to get what you need to move forward in life the way you're supposed to.
And when things not looking great, give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace.
That's right.
So Rachel, I would definitely love to ask you this. Due to the technical difficulties we had at the start, would you mind coming back next Thursday?
I can look on my calendar and we can get together. I may be able to do that. So yes, I would certainly, let's get together and I'll look to see if I'm available. I would love to.
Yeah, because we even if it's not next week, we need to come bring you back because we need to finish up that and clarify to the people of how important it is for self-care and mental health. Okay, because we are at the bottom of the line. The half hour. So thank you so much, Rachel. We appreciate all the information you have given us. We definitely look forward to you either being back next week or the week after. But y'all, I promise you she's coming back because I know y'all want to hear more. I know you do because I do. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. And I am Edwina Wilson. I am the CEO and founder of Kelly's Choice Cares. We look forward to seeing y'all on November the 2nd. This is my co-host, the other Corey Wilson, my boo thing. So y'all have a great week. And remember, don't give up yourself. Take care of yourself. And the rest is history. But give yourself some grace. Love y'all. Talk to you next week.
Awesome. And I apologize for that. So technical difficulties all around. I had to leave the office. The